A rate card for Aussie freelancers, the latest from Podnews.net with Descript, now with remote recording. A new organisation called Podcast Workers Australia has published a freelance podcast rate card, giving a set of recommended rates for freelancers working in Australian podcasting and advocating for a fairer industry. The rate card is supported by 115 personal signatories. While independent, the organisation has worked with the MIA, Australia's Union for Creative Professionals. Its leadership team has not been made public. Spotify is to launch its advertising marketplace, the Spotify Audience Network, in 5 new markets: Brazil, India, Japan, Mexico and Sweden. It's also said it'll expand its contextual targeting based on transcription. 2/3 of podcasters are using AI, suggests a survey from Headliner. Its use is mostly for promotion. Employees at Pushkin Industries have unionized through the Writers Guild of America East. The BBC and CBC announced a new joint production. Hollywood Exiles will launch in January, hosted by Game of Thrones actor Una Chaplin. Fast Company has looked at SiriusXM's new logo. It's from a British company. Audio equipment manufacturer C Entrance launched the English Channel, which is a curiously named portable analog channel strip for recording on the road. It features a mic preamp with dynamics, a parametric EQ, and an audio interface with online streaming capabilities. And later today, the Podcast Business Journal talks to Lisa Jacobs from Ad Results Media on a survey about brand suitability and advertisers' appetite for risk.
Podcast truly is an opt-in medium. You choose the content that you're interested in because you like the host, because you like the subject matter, because you want to learn something. I wasn't surprised by any of the findings that people were very lenient when it came to what was being covered and if it was controversial, and that not negatively impacting their perception of the show, of the host, or the brands that advertised in content.
It's the weekly newsletter for the business of podcasting, and you can subscribe for free at podcastbusinessjournal.com. And in podcast news,
we are committed to altering the trajectory of this country towards freedom. That's what's on the line. Nothing less.
Lord, I hope and pray they come today.
The official Rustin podcast has launched today from Netflix, accompanying the new Netflix film. The architect of 1963's momentous March on Washington, Bayard Rustin was one of the greatest activists and organisers the world has ever known, but has slipped from the public's mind. The film and this podcast aims to change that. It's produced by Pineapple Street Studios and Slajon. The new media show with Rob Greenlee this week features me and Sam Sethi. You can expect to chat about some of the things going on in the week's news and some talk about the alternate enclosure tag. Plus, I discover what cars Sam and Rob drive. The Podnews Weekly Review itself this week features an interview with Alberto Bitella from RSS.com and with singer-songwriter Ainsley Costello. I also kind of launch a new tool. If you're fed up with the amount of spam you get from the email address in your RSS feed, you can find the Podnews Weekly Review wherever you get your podcasts. In the TalkSport Daily podcast today, a special football documentary about how soccer is returning to war-torn Ukraine. What happened to clubs, players and fans as Russia invaded? Where are they now? And how has the football community recovered from the devastation? The show is also on TalkSport Radio this Sunday evening at 9 across the UK. And Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald is now adding video to its podcast with Studio 71. Heather immerses her audience in the art of pop culture, from Hollywood glamour and celebrity relationships to Bravo TV dramas and her own compelling personal stories. Studio 71 plans to double its size in 2024, and it says it's positioned to become the top simulcast network. Trailers for selected shows are in our new Podcast Trailers podcast. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. This podcast is sponsored by Descript. Descript now includes the most reliable remote recording solution out there. Record crystal clear podcasts and video from anywhere, then transcribe, edit and publish all in one app. Find out more at descript.com. And that's the latest from our newsletter. To read all the stories and subscribe, we're at podnews.net.